Good day. You ever wondered when you're going to open a package, what's inside? You ever looked at people and thought the same thing? My topic today is going to be the packaging of life does not always mean its true value. Again, I'll say that again. My topic today is the packaging of life does not always mean its true value. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, just recently I received and got something from my parents. I got them a Google Home Max, for an example. And you look at this big ass box and you think to yourself, wow, this thing's monstrous. Once you peel back the layers of that package and once you actually look inside, you realize how much the overpackaging makes it seem like it's so much bigger and so much more different. Have you ever bought into things and had the same thing? Well, now let's apply this to mankind, womankind, whatever you want to say, to human beings in general. You ever looked at somebody and they're an actual facade? They look like they're really polished, but yet behind that facade, they're hurting or they're not a very good person, for an example. Or you looked at somebody that's not dressed the greatest, they're a little bit, maybe they're driving a junker vehicle, and you make an assumption about what's behind the packaging of them, that they don't have anything, that they're not very valuable, and you make a judgment of them when really, in essence, you are looking at the outside packaging, and the meaning of who they are and what they stand for is completely different. And it's not always based on monetary value either. I know in 17 years of being in the finance industry, some of my most successful clients drive old junkers, live in a small little bungalow, and they do not show off their wealth. And some of my clients that drive the fancy sport cars, live in the fancy 5,000-6,000 square foot homes, going on expensive vacations, are really broker than sin. They literally are 90 days away from losing everything if they were to lose their income. So my point is for this again is, what packaging and what meaning do you put behind that package do you do? When you're looking at something, have you ever looked at stuff and think to yourself, let's be materialistic. You're buying something like that Google Home Max, and like me, I opened it up thinking, wow, this thing is monstrous, because I'd never really seen one. But when I opened it up for my parents and realized how small it was compared to the packaging, it dawned on me, we have an impression based on what we see with our eyes, right? What we're seeing things with is what we perceive things to be before we even get to open it or get to know people, when we put it toward the perspective and understanding people and their daily lives. Are we automatically making an assumption about who that person is by what they own, what they drive in the sense of ownership, what they present themselves with, the clothes they wear? The smile on their face should be more than enough for us to make an impression, or them to make an impression on us, pardon me. But really, at the end of the day, we make judgments based on people's materialistic presence, right? What they present out in the world. And people are doing the same thing to us, right? People might look at me with hair, without hair, right? People knew me with hair, yet people that see me as the bald person that I am today, mostly bald, might have a different impression of me. They might see me dressed up in comfy clothing. I might have run just to the local grocery store and just gone to buy things, and people are looking at you. And have you ever noticed the stares? People look at you, and they're making an assumption of who you are based on the fact that I decided to go in a comfy t-shirt, keep my sweats on. I was just going to the local grocery store to grab some cream, butter, milk, whatever the case may be. Maybe grab some steak for supper that night, and I didn't want to dress up, but people automatically thought I was a bum. Has that ever happened? Have you ever done that to other people? Have you ever had an impression of who they are based on what their outward appearance is, what they drive, what they own? Stop it. I know I have done it. I'm not perfect, but I've consciously made a choice in my life to always pivot and move forward and want to change what I think of others, because really, like they say, when you're pointing at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back. If you're thinking poorly about somebody because of what they represent, you are literally, you're not any better than they are. You're just as bad. Whether you have lots or don't have lots, you're actually, judging somebody when you shouldn't be judging them until they open their mouths, till you talk to them, till you get to know them. So when you see somebody that doesn't have a lot, I'm telling you, they probably have more than the person that represents that they have a lot. And even people that outwardly talk and they brag about things, I find the more that people brag, the less they have. Their meaning of their packaging, their outward vocalness, their outward what they represent themselves with materialistically, usually they're broke and they're hurting and they're rough inside and they need to be polished more than anybody. And the ones that are so down to earth with a friendly smile that don't show that they own a lot are usually the most friendliest people that I've ever experienced in my life. Is there a difference, right? Is there people out there that are going to be outside of the norm that I'm talking about? Absolutely there is. But based on my life experience, right, sometimes the packaging isn't what their meaning of their life actually stands for. So again, why do I talk about all this stuff before I get to my closing? Hi, Emma. Hey, Chris. Hey, Michael. Hey, Raphael. Hey, Gina. Appreciate you all being on the call. Appreciate your support. DM me, drop me a comment below. Yes, Emma, you are so correct. Perception is projection. So bottom line, don't judge others, right? Don't be a person that's looking at others and thinking, oh, that poor person, look how broke they are because they've got torn clothing on. Maybe they just decided maybe they're working in their yard and they decided they want to go run to the corner store and grab something and they didn't care about what other people thought, right? And that's the way life should be. I don't care what other people think about me. If people don't like me because I'm bald or they only like me because I got hair, well, then that's their choice. Bottom line, why do I talk about all this stuff and why do I care? It's because I give a heck. Peace out. Love you all. Have a great night. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.